Hey, Virginia West. You might be able to tell it's been Tuesday. Let me tell you about it. Because it's been a long day with one consecutive theme. First at research, then strangely on the bus, and then at work at Arby's. The same thing kept happening over and over again, making it clear that I have no idea what I'm doing. Research. Last semester I did research at the University of Pittsburgh Cancer Institute on nausea and vomiting. Not that big a deal. I mean, people think it's kind of gross, but I think it's really cool and really helpful because it's for like chemotherapy stuff. And it also has other applications, so I like it. This summer I'm staying in Pittsburgh, clearly. I get to work at Arby's and I get to possibly do research. So today I had a meeting with my researcher to talk about hours working and what I would be doing over the summer. And he didn't really know what he was doing. Yay! Most of the time he does. He's really good at knowing what he's doing. He's like a young guy and he has his PhD, so clearly he knows things. But basically a whole bunch of stuff that you don't really care about, but it meant that we could only have a 10-minute meeting because there's nothing else to talk about. Then I told him that I can work on my thesis experiment procedure over the summer, which took him aback of, because I just finished my freshman year and I know what I'm gonna do for my thesis, but I don't know how. And I mean, my thesis is in my senior year, so it's a long way off, but why can't I start doing my experiment ideas now? I mean, I want to fine tune it so it's perfect and I don't waste time then. Maybe I'm wasting time now? Anyway, then I told him I was going to code, or at least try to learn how to, because I have a Linux, and that makes life easier. So he was like, yay! Because coding is actually a really important part of biological research. So if you ever want to go into biological research, code! Learn to code, please! Java, especially, because all of the programs used for analysis are Java heavy. And if you can modify the code, you can make them do whatever you want them to do. And that's important. But back to my original point. We both had no idea what we were doing. Because I didn't know my schedule and he didn't know what he wanted me to do. So then I took the bus back home, which is something I'll get back to later. And then I stayed home for a bit because I had a bunch of extra time. Then I went to work at 11, which is a lunch rush. Yay! Arby's is a great place to work at. And I was on the cashier today, which means less work. People interaction, customer interaction is always an interesting task, especially when communication breakdown occurs. See, there are lots of sandwiches at Arby's. There are lots of varieties on the same sandwich at Arby's. So when you tell me you want a large roast beef combo, it's hard to know what you want exactly. We have 3 sizes of roast beef sandwiches, and we have 3 sizes of combos. If you tell me, pointing off somewhere at the menu board, that you want the $2.89, that's worse. That was bad. Then I messed up. But luckily I got to do side work, and cleaning the walls or doing the dishes at work is the most relaxing thing in the world compared to sandwich making or fryer duty. And because let me tell you, if you know how many sandwiches you can order at Arby's and how many variations on the sandwiches you can order at Arby's and how many new sandwiches there are and how many sides you can get, it's a lot. And it's a lot to do in the back line. Because you have to remember what goes on every single sandwich. And you have to do it in the right order and on the right side of the bun. and you have to have the toasted side on the right side of the sandwich. Fries, you have to make fries every time, like a lot. But mozzarella sticks, you make them when a customer orders them, which takes 3 minutes. 3 minutes! Jalapeno bites? I don't know how long those take because I've never made them, but customers have ordered them. So we have to make them, and customers have to wait. And we feel bad because we can't make our order time, which is 60 seconds from the time they started ordering. And it takes like a long time. And if you're waiting on fries, it takes 2 minutes and 30 seconds to make fries, whereas it can take less than 60 seconds to make a sandwich. It's hard to make that order time. My bus ride. That was something interesting and insightful. Went to the back, and there's a newspaper sitting across from me, so, of course, I read it. And on top was a sports page. Pirates lost, Pens win. Awesome. I mean, not about the Pirates, but that was kind of expected. But the Pens, yay, Pens! Because they won Game 5 of the playoffs. That's fantastic. You know, sports. But then I went to the front page, and the front page was kind of depressing, because that's how regular news is. For instance, there was more stuff about the Cleveland, Ohio disappearances, like one of the guys is being charged with murder, several counts, because of stuff. It's gross. Spare you details. Look it up if you're curious. But then there's also this 15-year-old boy who's getting a retrial because he allegedly shot his stepmother, his pregnant stepmother, when he was 11. I opened the page to read more about that trial. Why I would do that, I have no idea. And there's stuff about Libya and Hezbollah and Israel and all that mess with airstrikes and chemical warfare. And then North Korea is backing off finally, but North Korea and South Korea going at it again. It's all just a lot and depressing, and it made me realize why people focus on sports instead of what's on the front page. Because the front page doesn't make sense. No one knows what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing at work. I don't know what I'm doing at research. And no one knows what they're doing on the front page. You see, humans make rules for like language and literature and newspaper writing and sports and science and math, and we try to make the universe make sense, and we try to make all of our human stuff make sense, but then we have wars and we have murders and none of it makes any sense, and we have no idea what we're doing. So we focus on the things that do make sense, like sports, because at the end of a game you have a clear winner and a clear loser, and there's no horrible consequences for winning or losing. Yeah, if you lose, you may not get to go on to the next round of the playoffs, which means you don't get to play anymore, which at the professional level, you may not get paid as much. Boo-hoo. You still get paid a bunch anyway. But then, no one's dead. So that's great. Whereas, war, what sports is emulating, you have a clear winner most of the time and a clear loser, except for the Korean conflict, the Vietnam conflict, Desert Storm, and the Iraq conflict. We're going to push those aside, because the recent conflicts, those have no winners and losers whatsoever. The world's just becoming more messed up. Entropy. Anyways, then you have clear winners and clear losers most of the time, like with World War I and World War II, and you have clear winners and clear losers, but in the end, a ton of people died. So both people really lose. Just the loser loses more. So no one really knows what they're doing. And no one really knows how it works or why. It's all just messed up. So we focus on sports, which is something not messed up unless you have really incredibly bad refs. That makes us happy. Things that make sense make humans happy. The things that make no sense and we can't figure out. Depress us, frustrate us, angry to no end. These are all reasonable emotions. They're all reasonable responses. It doesn't make sense. No one knows what they're doing. The sports know what they're doing. Or at least the people playing them do. Professionals. Well, I think that's why we do what we do. But maybe all that's a bit more than you wanted, Virginia. It's something. Well, I hope you have a better day than mine. I'll talk to you later.